So, quick disclaimer: this is actually the second time I'm recording this because I just realised that something went wrong with the footage. So yeah, so there's a sense of annoyance in my voice throughout this whole thing. It's actually the second time I've had to record this. Anyway, Man United's winning streak comes to an end. Liverpool's losing streak comes to an end. West Ham finally win a game, and is Arsenal's Premier League title as clear cut as everyone first thought? Or Man City going to give them a run for their money throughout the season? I'm Christopher Coleman. You're watching AfterMatch. Hi, welcome to the newest episode of AfterMatch. As you saw on the screen at the start, second time I'm doing this because something went wrong. So yeah, this might be a more shorter one than usual, just because I just want to get it all done. So yeah, let's get this start with Brighton Leeds. You can sense I'm annoyed just from this. But yeah, Diogo Gomez got 4 times in the Carabao Cup, and now he's brought that form into the Premier League. He scored twice, and Eddie Welbeck, who actually mentioned in one of my articles on my always like the centre circle, which hopefully, if I've got it all sorted out right, is in the description. I focused in on Hurst's Brighton versus De Zerbi's Brighton, and focused in on Danny Welbeck and his increased like output, because he seems to have slotted into Hurst's plans effectively, and he scored again. He's scoring for fun like he did last season. Yeah, Leeds was not in this game at all. If I remember rightly from my quick fire predictions, I thought this is going to be more tighter than it actually ended up being. But yeah, Leeds started off well this season, but they're sort of dropping down into the relegation fight again, which I think where everyone thought they were going to be. Whereas Brighton looked to establish themselves as an ever present in the league. Brighton are one of those teams that it's not like expectation of them getting into the USB spots every season. Just stay in the league and all's well. And yeah, something I found interesting is the fact that Mats Vifa is a midfielder, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Well, it says right back is his primary position, which I completely forgot about. So when I first saw him a couple of games ago at right back, I got really confused. But yeah, that's the first game sorted. It's like, sorry for the. I'm just flying through this. You know, I've mentioned it twice already. But secondly, we've got Arsenal Burnley. Arsenal dominated this game. Gyökeres and Rice getting goals in the first half. Gyökeres gained them from point blank range, but it doesn't matter how they go in. As people would be more annoyed if he didn't score from them. But the biggest concern will be the fact that he had to come off at half time with an injury. He's not expected back till the end of this month, so it means he might miss a couple of important games. And even added to that by the fact that Paul Merson on Soccer Saturday said that Arsenal's attacking sort of dipped a bit when he wasn't on the pitch, which should come as a bit of a concern, especially with Havertz still out, with Gary Jesus still out. You got to wonder what they're going to do in midweek. Well, actually, because I've had to re-record this and the lineups are probably already out. They put Booker Marino up front. There you go. Oh god, the lineup. They probably think they're gonna win. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled broadcast. Arsenal dominated. Got to have a concern about Victor Gyökeres. But we'll see today against Slavia Prague. Yeah, to 25 points after 10 games is unbelievable. Whether they win or not, they're going to get a high amount of points this season. Just whether that amount of points is going to be enough. Then moving on to the Crystal Palace Brentford game, another game in my predictions where I thought it was going to be closer than it ended up being. I put 2-2 because I thought Brentford had beaten Man United and Liverpool. They drew against Chelsea. So I was like, yeah, they can get a point for Crystal Palace. No, they can't. Because I think my brain forgot that all those games were the G-Tech. This is at Selhurst Park. And Crystal Palace used their home advantage as well. Geoffrey Pateta getting his customary goal. It was a great header. The amount of power he got from that far out was unbelievable. And then Nathan Collins accidentally hitting into his own net. And I think I read somewhere, but I'm not sure how true it is, that the stadium announcer announced it just as a normal goal. But I don't think they said Nathan Collins' name. So yeah, Crystal Palace under Oliver Glasner, they're going to be in and around it for this season. They finished 12th and won the FA Cup. But it wouldn't surprise me if they got higher this time. Again, didn't look in too much trouble at all. Their backline looked solid from the highlights. I know I'm just basically off of highlights. But yeah, Brentford will be fine this season. They'll grind down enough wins, most likely against all the better teams, as you've seen this season already. And probably just stay up quite comfortably in the end. Anyway, moving on. Fulham Wolves, the game that saw Victor Pereira sacked. And this felt like he was on borrowed time at this point. He could have got confidence from the Carabao Cup game against Chelsea, after scoring 3 times and almost getting a fourth and giving themselves a chance. But it wasn't to be. Ryan Sessegnon got in front in the space of 9 minutes. And then Wolves didn't show much threat. And then Fulham made the match done and dusted with goals from Harry Wilson and an goal from Jesse Mosquera, which was the only sort of goal you can see only if you're near the bottom and luck's not on your side, and luck is very much not on their side when the ball will hit the back of the net. And yeah, I've seen like Gary Neal's probably said no. Ten Hag is unlikely as well. Favourite at the moment is Brendan Rodgers, so I can see how that fits, but I haven't heard anything more since that. But yeah, Fulham win comfortably. Wolves have had not same record, but they were winless in 10 last season. They stayed up, so don't rule them out just yet. They've got a good enough squad, and there is still a chance they'll stay up. Anyway, moving on to Nottingham Forest Man United. that guy on Instagram was probably livid when he saw the when he when he saw that Nottingham Forest were 2-1 up, because if you don't know, there's a guy on social media who's not cutting his hair until Man United win 5 games in a row. They were on 3 games in a row, and then Nottingham Forest decided to spoil the party, scoring 2 goals in the space of I think it was 93 seconds through Kuswaka and Savona. But then Ahmad scored an absolutely brilliant goal. Probably goal of the day from all of them. And they got their point, which non-Forest, seeing their recent form, probably be delighted with. But yeah, the wait goes on for him. The wait with Tottenham coming up next, and it'll be wait to see whether Man United's dropping form again, whether non-Forest start winning and getting points again. So at this early point of the season, it's just a game of what ifs at this point. Anyway, moving on to my club, Chelsea. And a game where Tottenham recorded, I think, the 4th lowest expected goals after. The 4th lowest expected goals. I can't remember if that was within 90 minutes or not. It ended up 0.05. Yeah, Chelsea pounced off a mistake on Ricky van de Ven, which was actually from Moise Caicedo and João Pedro not communicating, but Caicedo running onto his own misplaced pass. Then getting into João Pedro, who got his goal. He probably could have got a hat trick in the space of about 3 minutes. Not 3 minutes. About 10-15 minutes. Chelsea could have won this game more comfortably, but it didn't seem to matter in the end because Tottenham were just like toothless. They didn't look like scoring. Although when you only got one goal up and you got a team doing long throws, corners and getting low set pieces, you're going to be worried. But Chelsea win at Tottenham's ground again, and I don't want to be the sort of Chelsea fan to say 3-point lane, but we do win a lot at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They're probably just living at this point. I think they've only got 8 wins against us. For a rivalry with 2 Big Six teams, and we would have expected that to be a little bit more even than it was. I was surprised when I saw it as well. But yeah, final game of Saturday was Liverpool-Aston Villa. Breaking news, Liverpool have won a game. I don't want to sound like I hate Liverpool. I'm actually relieved for Liverpool fans that they finally won a game again, because it was starting to get really concerning that they couldn't beat Crystal Palace, they couldn't beat Chelsea, couldn't beat Man United, couldn't beat Galatasaray, which is in the middle of that, and then you would have thought the Frankfurt game would have got a confidence up, but the Brentford game pretty much put them straight back down to earth with a 3-2 win for Brentford. But yeah, Liverpool finally got their win. No, the small part to play in that was Martinez pretty much passing it straight to Salah. So there's a misplaced pass and then there's literally just passing it to the opposition. That's what it looked like. Pretty much, Mo Salah returns to sender, 1-0 up. He's got to 250 goals. And then returning Gravenberch got the second one, which was a deflection, which meant that Martinez couldn't do anything about it. And even though Liverpool lost 4 games on the spin, they're still in third on 18 points. So that shows you how close the league is in a minute, that these teams are losing or winning games at such an inconsistent rate that Liverpool had a 4-game losing run and are still third. Anyway, moving on to Sunday. You had West Ham Newcastle. Newcastle can't seem to win away, by as it looks of things, and it was actually a good thing for West Ham that they couldn't, because they finally got their first win at home. I think it was for 9 months. They did look that way after Jacob Murphy got them headed within 4 minutes after Joe Bone hit the post. It wasn't a good day from Joe Bone in the end, though his team won 3-1. Because then he got penalty didn't get given his way. Then got not, and then right at the end he had a shot not going, which was eventually converted in by Thomas Soucek. Yeah, after the penalty was not given, Paquetá was like, look, I've scored against Chelsea, I might as well hit it from here. But Nick Pope should have done away with it. He got 2 hands on it and he's got being in his near post. And then they actually went to the break ahead West Ham after Sven Botman directed his own net. And it's not a mistake from Sven Botman, because if he left in and then Callum Wilson, I think, was running in, just touch in there and go, why didn't you do anything? If you do something, there's a risk of that happening. Nick Pope completely wrong footed, it wasn't going to get anywhere near it. Yeah, Newcastle came back to it in the second half. Something interesting I did see was the first glimpse of, I think it's the first glimpse of Thomas Soucek playing up front, which was an experience and a half. See, I'm not against it. I thought it made perfect sense. But it's perhaps not something you don't do in the whole, like this us dying then we've got him up front. It's sort of like you throw him on out front in the last couple of minutes to try and get you a goal, which is a perfectly reasonable thing to do. And then talk about Thomas Soucek, he then scored the most Thomas Soucek goal I've ever seen. Joe Bowen getting the ball through Nick Pope's legs, it bounced between his legs a couple of times, and then Soucek got there before Nick Pope could grab it. It's probably a game Nick Pope probably doesn't want to remember. But yeah, the game was... Jacob Murphy said they weren't good enough and Newcastle weren't good enough. They need to sort out their record away, otherwise they're not going to get into the European places again, because you need to get enough points home and away. And if you're getting none away, then you've got no chance. Then moving on to the third game in my prediction, which I thought was going to be closer than it actually was. Man City Bournemouth, which I thought, I've been right when Haaland put them in front with classic Haaland goal. He's definitely going to score with Erling Haaland, and you're giving him that sort of space. And then Tyler Adams actually capitalised a mistake from Donnarumma. I didn't think Donnarumma was capable of making a mistake, but clearly so. But then Haaland drew around George Petrovic and made it 2-1. Then Nick O'Reilly got it wrapped up in the second half. I almost said third half for some reason, I don't know why. Because the third goal, I think I got my words mixed up in my head. But yeah, Man City are slowly closing back in on Arsenal with a striker like Erling Haaland, and the fact that Arsenal have got pretty much all their strikers out. The gap could soon close up if Arsenal's striker problem leads to a different form as well. And seeing as we've got them as the early game, it would be a good way to see. But yeah, Man City look back to their best in that game, and who knows if Liverpool can get their form back up again, we could be on to a 3-way title race. But I'm just keeping my fingers crossed for that, just to make the league a bit more exciting. I don't know if it's a Chelsea fan, we're not going to get ourselves involved, but one can hope. Finally, last game, Sunderland Everton. Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka might be the best fan-for-fan player in the league. and then but it looked like they might actually lose that game when Iliman Ndiaye scored a brilliant solo goal. He was running and running and running, and then curling it into the corner. Rowan Rose had no chance. But it only took Granit Xhaka 40 seconds of the second half to boot the ball in with a little bit of help from James Tarkowski's foot, because if his foot's not in the way and it doesn't get deflected, then Jonathan Pickford probably saves it. But yeah, and then Sunderland and Everton probably will both be quite disappointed with the result in the end, because both of them probably could have won it in either half. But yeah, so this isn't like as in depth as what I usually do. And yes, this is the third time I mentioned it. It's actually the second time I'm recording it. It's literally dark outside. It's not usually when I've recorded this. It's usually dark once I finish recording. But it's been dark throughout the whole thing. But yeah, one thing I need to talk about, I completely forgot to mention it, in the Nottingham Forest Man United game, we had the whole debate about whether the ball went out or not. The fact that I don't think there's any conclusive angle in the end. And that happens all the time. You see, one angle is like with offside of the ball going out of play. One angle it looks like it's definitely out of play. You see another angle, you go, oh, hang on, that's in. Or he's off, or actually he might be on. But that's what semi-automated offside is for, so it'll be interesting to see whether they can do like some change to like goal line technology and because I think we've seen it in another league, I think. So I reckon they could do something like that, where it could give them an indication that the ball's gone out of play. But yeah, do I normally do? Now you've got Arsenal versus Slavia Prague. Even without the strike, I think they'll be okay. Liverpool Real Madrid is one I'm very excited about. But I think Real Madrid are the favourites to win it, but I'm not going to come with a conclusive prediction on that one. And Tottenham have FC Copenhagen, who found enough I did match reporting and interviewing for Lewis FC during my time at uni, as you can see. And yeah, the person who was helping Lewis FC, Joe Short, actually worked as a journalist for Copenhagen, I think. We talked about the Chelsea Copenhagen game during the Conference League. And I reckon Tottenham would be okay. I think it'd be draw worse like in their previous two games. They got to count back Chelsea. I'm annoyed that we actually have to go to Azerbaijan to play it. You know, we had a feeling that some of the Chelsea players would have probably preferred it if it was at home, but you can't really complain about stuff like that. So hopefully we do okay in that. I think we'll be fine. Man City Dortmund. Man City should be okay as long as Haaland stays fit. Newcastle Athletic Club, I think Newcastle will be okay. Arsenal didn't score until the second half, but Newcastle beat Benfica 3-0 after Chelsea could only beat them 1-1, so Newcastle are more than capable. And then next week, the potential aftermatch episode. So next week, you've got Tottenham, Man United, Sunderland, Arsenal, and Man City, Liverpool. So I feel like the next week episode will actually just be full of those games. But we'll see. We might find out that all three of them just end up being a bit of a damp squib and having nothing to talk about because they've all ended 0-0 or something. But anyway, hopefully everything's fine. If you're watching this right now, then everything is fine. And yeah, I've been Christopher Coleman. This has been AfterMatch. I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching AfterMatch. If you want to see more episodes, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel where you'll get video version of this. Or follow me on Spotify if you want to listen to future episodes on the go. Be sure to check out my website, Centre Circle, which you can find on the About page of my YouTube channel.